So this is the part two of the webinar where I showed you previously how to build an LMS. So this is another section of the webinar. We dive deeper into more of the screens, how to create more screens, and how to accomplish way more in your LMS and add lots of feature. So if you've not seen the part one of this webinar, you can go back to the YouTube channel and you'll be able to find the part one of this webinar. So you figure out how to build an LMS for yourself. LMS is a learning management system. Probably at the end of this course, you'll definitely be able to, get all the basics right when it comes to building an LMS for yourself. So don't forget to leave a follow. Just like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so you can get more resources. You can watch more video on how to build your apps with no code. Thank you. So like we've rightful defined this stuff. Adalo is a tool. The tool that we're currently using to build this application is called Adalo. Adalo is a tool that enables you or anyone to build mobile apps or web app on the internet. So the last time when we were the last section, we created all the screens. You can see we have the first screen, we have the second screen, the onboarding screen, we have the sign up screen, the login screen, the home screen, and the create lecture screen. So there's some things that happen in your application a lot of time, and you want users to move fast. So you want them to see a first screen, and then they see another screen before they move into the sign up. One way that we can do that in Adalo is to use a timer. So if I click on the preview right now, you're gonna see what happened. It doesn't show the onboarding screen, which is very terrible. It doesn't show the onboarding screen. It is not good for business because you want your brand to be alive. So this is the login screen and the sign up screen. Meanwhile, I like it because it's super beautiful. That's the reason why I like it. But this screen doesn't show the onboarding screen. Meanwhile, we have an onboarding screen which we have created right here. It doesn't show it. So what we can do is that we can go to Adalo has a marketplace where we can buy extensions. So we can go to installed extensions, and we look for something called a timer. So what I'm looking for a timer. If it's not here, what I'll do is that I'll click on the plus sign again. Click on the plus sign and scroll down, say explore marketplace. Explore marketplace, I'll just type timer. I think that's what I need. Yeah, this one, timer. We would say install. So you just think of it like it's a plugin. So plugins are tools that add customized functionality to your application, extra line of functionality to your application. That's what plugin is. So just think of this as a plugin that will add extra functionality to your application. And this type of functionality, Adalo does not have it normally, but you get to add it using this using plugins like so. So what I'll do is that I'll drag the plugin into this. So we have a plugin in there, but it's not very visible. We don't want it to be visible. We just want it that when a user click on the app, it shows them a welcome screen and they're able to move to the onboarding section. So what we do is that the number is in seconds. We say okay, then we'll just choose like maybe 3 seconds. We don't keep people there for a longer time. Then when we choose the 3 seconds, we'll click on the timer display. We want to just hide everything. We don't want the timer to show, so we reduce transparency totally. We don't want the timer to show. For the text color, we don't want the text color. We just take it away totally. Then for the separator, we don't just want any color at all. We don't want anything to be displayed at all. Anything. But the timer is right here. Right here. You can see the timer right here, but we don't want to display anything. For labels, we don't want to display anything at all. The reason is because we don't want our users to see the timer. That's the way your mobile app works. When you see your first screen that displays the logo of your company, and then it moves to the other screen, right? That's the same thing. That's the same thing that happens. So you can see we have no code timer, and we're going to add an action. Remember, Adalo has database, it has logic, and then it has action. Action is the way you connect a database and a screen together. So what we have here, we have a screen right here, we have database right here. So action enable you to connect what's in your database to what's in your screen. You'd be like, if I do this, I want you to do this other one. So what we'll do is that we'll click on the timer, add action. We would say link to the onboarding screen. Yeah, so we'll say link to onboarding screen. Transition, we'll say no transition. Yeah, we'll say done. I'll show you what this means in seconds. Then we'll change this screen to the onboarding screen, not normal screen, to the welcome screen, and say done. So what this means is that if when this timer counts to 3 seconds, it will move to this screen where users can then sign up, log in, and do other things they want to do. So I'll click on the preview button right there. So Dave, if you have questions, you can always ask. So if you have questions, you can always leave it in the comment section, and I'll do well to answer you. So you see, hope you saw that. Let me do it again. So click on the preview button. You can count the seconds, like 1, 2, 3. It moves to the next screen. You see the way it says? That's the way you make an onboarding flow in Adalo, just by simply using the timer and nothing else. So if we click on the login button, it goes to the login page. Very beautiful. Click on the sign up button, it comes back to the sign up page. Super beautiful. And then your users can enter the email, password, full name, and username. So that's enough for a recap. Let's keep going. Remember, we set up our database last week, and we said for our database, we have courses, we have units, and we have course categories. That's what we have. And what we want to do with our application, we want users to be able to create courses. And we want users to be able to create courses, and we want users to be able to create courses, of course, and we want them to be able to watch courses. Remember, if you're building an application like this, you would have to use some rules. If a user is an admin, a user will be able to create courses. But if the user is not an admin, the user will not be able to create courses. Say, for example, we have this create course button right here. If we click it normally, irrespective of the person we are, we can always go to this other side. I'm going to do it so that you see. Let's go to our database, click on our user. I just want to check out the password we used. So our email is this, our password. I want you to just go ahead and change the password to something very easy. I'll click on the preview button. Just want you to see something, that somehow it's good for you to restrict what happens in your app based on the admin, based on the user role of a person. So if I want to do this, I'm going to say my name is this and my password is this, and I'll say login. So when I log in, you can see if I click on the create button, it just takes me to this part. But meanwhile, there are some times in our application, in our learning management application, where we don't want anybody to be able to create courses. We just want them to come, watch courses, and go home. That's what we want them to do. So the way we do that is that we will give ourselves admin right, or we'll give our staff admin right. So how do we do that? We'll come back here, go to our user record, and add a property. Add a property called user role. Yeah, add the property called user role, a true or false property, user role. Just say admin. Just follow me. Add the property called user role, say admin, and click on the word save. So what this is saying is that this user can only be two things. This user can either be an admin or not. So what we'll do is that let's add another user. I would say this person is por2.okodwa@nocode45.com. Cool. So meanwhile, you can always check out Nocode45 anytime. It's a place where you can get courses, you can find where to be stuff without code, and we're really upgrading fast. We're creating our own LMS, something like what we're creating with Adalo right now. We're creating our own LMS platform where you can always come there and learn as many things about no code as possible. So I'm just going to put my name here. I'm going to say my name is Paul Okodwa. Yeah, and my username, I'm just going to say Paul. And this particular person, I will say the user role here is force. I'll say save. Yeah. Then I'll go to this first one. I'll say my user role here is admin is true. So what this is saying is that if I click admin is true, it means that person is an admin. If I click admin is false, meaning that person is not an admin. So remember, we have two persons in our database. So what we can do is that I'll click on this button right here. I'll say action. So the action here is linked to the create lecture screen. I would say this button should only be visible if the person is an admin. If the person isn't an admin, this button should not be visible at all. That's the way you make things. That's one of the way you make things go away, disappear in your Adalo application. But sometimes, though it's bad user experience, you could leave the button here and tell and make sure that the button doesn't go anywhere only if the person is an admin. If the person isn't an admin, the button is not clickable. If the person is an admin, then the button will be clickable. So just follow me. This is what we're going to do. I'll click on it here and I'll scroll up. Yeah, I would say click on this icon here. I would say change visibility. From visibility here, it says always visible. I would say sometimes visible. If logged in user, yeah, is an admin, then it should be visible. If the logged in user is not an admin, then it's not going to be visible. So let's go practice. We'll say preview. Just watch it. Click on preview. Remember, we have two different users in our application. Two different users in our application. One is an admin and one is not an admin. So I'll click on the create course. You can see it's working now because this other person is an admin. But if we go back right there and we log out, if we log out of the application, we'll say already have an account. This guy, it's not going anywhere, which is not good. So let's go back to our application. Let's go back to our application. Already have an account. Something is happening. Let's go back to our application. Scroll down. Just scroll down like so. And just preview again. So let's just preview again. So we'll do the preview again. This time we're saying already have an account, just log in. That's what we're doing. So now I'll just click on login and say paul2.okoduwa@nocode45.co, and my password here is Paul. So I'll just go ahead and say login. I'll go ahead and say login. So you can see that this person is not really seeing the button. This person is not seeing the button. Why? Because the person is not an admin. That's one way you can have an admin section of your application, and you can have a normal user section of your application without this person creating any course or whatsoever. So those are something you can do. So let's go ahead and style the home page. So remember, the home page is going to be filled with courses. That's what the home page is going to be filled with. It's going to be filled with courses. So this is not going to be our home. This is not the way. We're not going to, we're just going to take this button away. The home page itself is going to be filled with so many courses. For example, if you go to Udemy, you would see the way we're going to style our home page. The home page is going to be filled with courses, and we just have a search bar. So you can see Udemy just have a search bar, and then we have tons of courses all around the place. That's what we have. And that's something we're going to do with our courses. So we have, if you have a very large, you have a very very large number of courses, lots of courses. So what you can do is that you can show the categories instead. But for us, for the sake of this class, we're just going to show all the courses that we have. So let's click on our database. Scroll down and say courses. So for the courses, we have just one. We have just one record. So let's add another one. Say introduction to no code, course cover, course category. We have one unit, right? We have one unit, and we have just one unit right there. So let's go ahead and add more courses. So I'm just going to click on this other one. We would say bubble beginner's guide. So cover photo, we'll just add a cover photo to it. So this is where you want things to be really professional. If you're launching an application for a client or you're building it for yourself, you want to invest in graphic design. It's very important. You want to just, you want to give lot of thoughts into your graphics, because graphics goes a long way in how your application will look. So for the course category, we'll just choose, we don't have an option here, which is not good. So let's say save, say done. For the course category, I'm going to add to the course category. Let's just add no code. We just add no code. I'm not going to put a cover photo. I'm just going to say save. So this is something quick that we're doing. For the courses, click on it. This course that we just added. I'm just going to go add the category and say no code, then click on save. So what we're doing is that we want to just create a list. We want to create a list of courses right here. So Adalo has different type of lists, lots of different type of lists, but you can create your own custom list yourself, or you can go flow with the Adalo custom list. Yeah, you can create your own type of custom list. I love to create mine. So what we can do is that we click on the plus sign, and we can use Adalo's list but customize it to our own. So what we can do is that we will click on this guy. No, not the horizontal list. We'll click on the custom list. Just put it here. Just follow me. This is what I'm doing. Click on the custom list. Open. Double click inside. Inside is just a rectangle. Right here is a rectangle. Make it a bit smaller. Yeah. Take it down a little bit. The reason why you're making it a little bit smaller, so it can contain 2 rectangles per screen. So make it a bit smaller, like so. Just make it a bit smaller, like so. And then the title, the subtitle itself, will bring it down. The subtitle right here, like so, we'll bring it down. We're going to bring the subtitle down. Sometimes you don't really need this subtitle. You can just replace it with a category if you want to. You can replace it with a category. Right here, this will be the title of the course. You can just, reduce it. This will be the title of the course, and we'll definitely want to make it pretty small, probably like 12, and make it a bit bold. Make it bold. For this other one, we'll make it like 10, and make it semi-bold, medium. That's fine. So we'll just we'll increase it. So just increase it drastically, like so. So for the top here, let's just highlight these two, and highlight these two. Take it to the left a little bit. Take it to the left a little bit, like so. So click on the plus sign. Let's add an image. We just add an image inside this group. Reduce the image like so. Yeah, then put it inside. So we can customize this group the way we want to customize it. It doesn't really matter. Then for the item spacing, here we're saying what's going to be the distance between one item to another, one row and another row. You could add color to this. You could add color to this. You can add anything. But I just think that when you're designing with Adalo, the simpler the better. So right here for the number of columns, we're going to say 2. So you can see we have one column on the left. We have another on the right. So the simpler for me, the better it's going to be. If you're building stuff with Adalo, just make it as simple as possible. What you're doing is that you're not putting all the emphasis on your design. What you're putting all the emphasis on is actually how will my users use this course. That's what you're doing. So all your emphasis should not be just on the design aspect of things, but your emphasis should be on the product that you're giving to people to use. Yeah, that's where your emphasis should come from. So now we have these 2 things. So if we click on it, it's going to ask us, this is going to be a list of what? It's going to be a list of courses. That's what it's going to be. A list of courses, all courses. So it's going to be all courses. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a list of all courses. So if we preview this, we don't have to preview yet. So let's just click on the individual image inside of it. we would say this is going to be current course cover photo. Then the title is going to be the current course title. That's what it's going to be. Let's just double click. Yeah, the title is going to be the current course name. Then the subtitle is going to be the current course. The subtitle is going to be the current course category. Current course category name. So hope you're following me. If you have questions, leave it in the group, and leave it in the comment section, and I'll do well to answer you. So this is what we have here. Let's go ahead and preview and see what we've done. One thing that I love about no code is the fact that you can always preview and see what you're doing. You can always go ahead, just preview, see what you're doing, see if you're doing something right or not. So you can see what we have. We have this, yeah. These are the two courses that we have. We have 1 and we have 2. The first one is Bubble Beginner's Guide. The second one is Introduction to Bubble No Code. And now we have these two. So one thing that we can do, other things that we can do is that we can decide to advertise courses on our homepage. Yeah, we can decide to advertise courses on our homepage. Click on the homepage and just drag down to give yourself more room. Don't worry. What this means is that users will be able to scroll through your pages. So let's just take this a bit down. So sometimes on most of the e-learning courses or e-learning provider that you go to, they have this space on top where they get to advertise new courses. This could also work for a marketplace. It could be Jumia, it could be an e-commerce store or whatsoever. So what we're going to do is that we just put an e-commerce slider. We can put an e-commerce slider. We can put a slider right here. And so what this would do is that it will just show you new courses. It will just show you some adverts and the rest. That's what it's going to show you. So if I click on it, image slider, it's going to ask me, where do you want to get the image from? I don't have a place where I'm getting the image from yet, which is not good. It's going to ask me, where do you want to get the image from? But I don't have a space. But what I can do is that I can go to my database and just create a new collection and call it slider image. Click on add. So the only thing I want to add here is just images. That's the only thing I want to add here. Just images. Just call it slider image. So the reason why I'm doing this is because why I'm taking my time here. I could rush through this thing as fast as possible, but the reason why I'm taking my time is because I really want you to learn how to build such an application for yourself. It's really going to help you a whole lot. So for the first image, I'm just going to put this one. So the first image, I'm going to put this one and click on save. I'm going to add another image again. Click on another one. Click on another one and say open. Then click on the word save. Then I'm going to click on another one again. Click slider image. Scroll down. Just scroll down and click on this one and say save. Save. So what this means is that now we can go to our slider and say we want it to be from the slider image. We want to show all the images that we see in the slider image. And then when a person clicks it, you can take the person to a particular to a particular section of your course when a person clicks it. So that's something you can do. When a user moves to another image, you can add an action. When a user clicks on the image, you can add an action to it. So they are just similar stuff. You can use these to get analytics. You can be like how many times the person looked at the image. So that means how many times the person allowed this image to slide. To slide on the screen. So we can just click on the preview button now. We click on the preview button and so you can see the slide. Hence the reason why I emphasize the fact that you should always make investment in your graphics. Very, very important. These can be very, very beautiful slides, very, very beautiful slides that you've done to attract, more people to check out what you're doing. So when people click on this, they should be able to go somewhere in your application. So I see this is just not well adjusted, so I'm just going to take this, adjust this very well. So the next thing that we have to do for this application, is to tell users where they will go when they click on this. There's so many ways, so many things you can do here. One thing is, if a user is not registered, if a user is not subscribed, the user should not click, should not be able to click away from the screen. But if the user is subscribed, then the user should be able to click away from the screen, especially if you're doing something that has to do with payment. So this is the way we'll do it. We'll create two screens. One will be a pricing plan and the other one will be details of the courses. One will be a pricing plan and the other will be a detail of the course, and you just tell the person enroll. So this is how we'll do it. We'll click on the database. We'll go to the user, click on the user, not here, click on the user and just add something to it. True or false? Not the user, forgive me. Yeah, the user would say subscribed. So we'll just say subscribe. This is going to be a yes or a no. Yeah, this is going to be a yes or no. Then we will go to the courses, right? Okay, we'll click create a collection, and we'll just call it. We can just call this collection pricing plan if we want to. We can call it. We don't have to call it anything. We can call it pricing plan, but we can just create a screen and call it pricing plan if we want to. It doesn't really. It doesn't really matter if we want. It doesn't really matter, but we can let's just create something and say pricing plan. So say save. We would say the first one. We would say plan. So the first part we would say the plan for the first one. We could say the pricing plan or subscription plan is. We could say the subscription plan is $20 if we want to. So we could just add a property to it, give it a number, and then we would say this money it's $30. So the pricing plan is $30. Yeah, that's the pricing plan. And also we are also checking if a person is subscribed. So if the person has paid his $30, yeah, if the person has paid is $30, then we will be able to subscribe the person. Or we could say we could click on the pricing plan, yeah. Click on this, take away the $30, yeah, and so let's click on done. Take away the $30. Rename this record to paid subscribers. Paid subscribers. Say update. So once we've seen that, we will then relate this. Just watch it. Relate this with the user So a user can have multiple paid subscriber. A paid subscriber belongs to a user. A user can only have one paid subscriber. A paid subscriber belongs to a user. So we would choose this and say okay. So what that means is that we can always determine if a user has paid or not. So this is going to be very instrumental in what we want to build, especially if you're building a SaaS that requires people to pay all the time. So we'll click on the plus sign right here. Scroll down, let's add another screen. This is becoming a bit long, but let's just keep going. Add another screen and call it pricing plan. Pricing plan, create. Then we will add another screen again. Add another screen and call it course details. Course detail. Forgive me, just add another screen right here. Just let's go back, click on the plus sign, add screen, add another screen and just call it course details. and say save. So what you're doing here is that you want to, just like we learned about conditional visibility a while ago. That's the same thing we want to do right here in this application. So we'll come here. Let's just go right there. We'll come right there and say this is the pricing plan, right? So let's just add. Well, this is where you're going to add bunch of tests. Lots of tests, lots of tests, lots of tests. So let's see a pricing plan from. Who do we see from? Let's just say pricing plan for SaaS. So let's just look for a pricing plan. So what this would do is that you would tell your subscribers what they stand to gain, all the many things they stand to gain, and then you will put the plan at the end. That's what you want to do. So I'm just gonna copy this long test. You could use a lorem ipsum for now if you want to. I'm just gonna copy this long test and just put it like so. Yeah. So this, like, I could say this is what people will gain when they decide to get into when they decide to learn with me, and I'll just duplicate it. So I just did that to just make it a bit longer. But this could be bullet points. It doesn't have to be just this straightforward. This could be bullet points if you want it to be. Then at the end of the day, so this could be bullet points. And at the end of the day, what we're going to do is that we'll put a button. We'll put a button right there. So what the button would do is that it will take people to a payment gateway. You take people to a payment gateway. That's what this would do. It will take people to a payment gateway where they will pay you some amount of money, and when they pay you that amount of money, it will update the Adalo data sheet that, hey, this person has paid. One thing, you could use API for this. Adalo has a very robust API that you can use for this. But we're not touching that part of this application, in this application right now. So Adalo has a very robust API. I'm having a bit of a network issue right here. So what I can do after this is to add a button. So I'm going to add a button that tells people to purchase pricing plan now. So I'm going to go like add a button, come right here. I would say subscribe to enjoy courses. Enjoy all courses. Subscribe to enjoy all the courses. So this is my call to action button right here. This is my call to action button right here. And what I'll do is that when a user click on this, the user should go this, So then I'm going to just duplicate, not duplicate this card. Just go ahead and say click on the plus sign and add a list. Add a list to this guy and just drag it here. So what I want people to see is that when a person is subscribed, if the person click on that button, the person should be shown units, So the person should be shown this unit. So when I click on this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, okay, just click on it and say, I'm going to say this is going to be a list of units. Yeah, it's going to be a list of units, all units for now, because we have not connected it. We've not connected it, so we're doing all units. So I'll click on this and I want to link it. So I would say add action, link to pricing plan. And then I'll come down here and say sometimes, not always, sometimes, when current logged in user when current logged in user just a minute. when current logged in user, right, paid subscribe is equal to force, yeah, is equal to force. So what this means is that this person has not paid. That's what it means. This person has not paid. It will link to the pricing plan if this guy has not paid. But if you click on it, if this guy has paid, and I would say link to the course detail screen. If this guy has paid for this course, I would click on advanced. I would say sometimes I would say if this, sometimes if the current logged in user paid is true. So you see what we're doing? If this guy is paid is true, it should link to another screen. So this is how you stop people from looking at something in your application, and they will look at something else. So this list right here is linking to two paths. It's linking to two parts of your application. One screen if it's true, and the other screen if it's false. And then what we can do here is to take the person to another screen once they click on the payment button. So don't worry, this is just the basics of making an LMS application. So just call this payment screen. So if you're using card, if you're going to be using card, it's fine. But you could simply drop a payment gateway link right here. This is something that is so doable. You could simply just drop a payment gateway link right here on the button. So if you click on the button here, you would what you would do is that you would just click on action. You would say link to a website. That's what you do. If you click on link to a website, you just paste the external link here, and then you can collect your money time immediately. And once you collect your money, what happens is that your app will update. Yeah, your app will update your the app itself will update the database. I mean, when you pay, your payment gateway will update the database, and then the person can start enjoying the courses immediately. That's how seamless it will be. So what we'll do is that we'll click here. We want to link to this other app, and we want to look for Stripe. So if you are in Nigeria, Stripe will not cut it for you. It won't. But if you are not in Nigeria, Stripe will cut it for you. So what we'll do is that we'll put a Stripe button right here. One thing about this Stripe button is that it is not very customizable. As funny as it sounds, it's not very customizable. It's just there. The design is just it's just there. It's not very customizable. It's just, I don't want to say it's complete crap, but it's just not there. So for the price, for the quantity, it's 1. Yeah, for the quantity is 1. For the price, it's this. So the price ID, everything must come with an ID. So this could be a random. This could just be a random number. It doesn't have to. You could just use the random. Click on the plus sign, the plus button. Say, click on the plus button and say new formula. And for the new formula, click on the plus sign, and you can do random function. So you can do a random function like rand, a random function like this, and just get like 2 different numbers, put some ID at the back of it, and you'll be good. So for the email field, you have the buyer's email. So the buyer's email will be the current logged in user's email. That will be the email field. For the submit button, yeah, start subscription is the submit button. Then after payment, what do we want to happen? So immediately after payment, this person should be redirected back to the course screen, back to the homepage, back to the screen that says, hey, thank you very much for making that payment. So if you click on the test, thank you very much for making that payment. We're super grateful that you made that payment. That's basically the way it should be. Quantity, we will just say 30. Yeah, the quantity will say 30. That's fine. $30, we're charging 30. Then for the email, that's it. For the submit button, That's it. So you would have to put some text right up, stuff that will make them pay if you want to. On this page, you can put testimonials, videos, anything that you want to put just to make them pay. And so when you're done with that, when they're done with making the payment, then they can begin, they can just resume with learning. So for this other course detail application where we have the units, so right now it's showing units, but it's not going to show all units. It's going to show current course unit. That's what it's going to show, the unit of the current course. And then we can configure it further. We can scroll down. We want to configure the title. The title will be the name of the unit. The subtitle, if there's any other thing in the unit, so we can add it there, duration, stuff like that. And for the left section, for the picture, the avatar, that's fine. The image will be current course. The unit does not have any image, so we'll just use the current course cover photo. And so if we decide to go ahead and preview, you'll see what we can do. So forgive me, it's long, it's pretty long, but I just want you to learn a whole lot before we end the class. So if we click on the introduction to no code, see what happened. It doesn't go anywhere. Why? It doesn't go anywhere, so there's something wrong. Let's go back. Click on this. We're saying if pricing plan, sometimes if logged in user paid subscriber is equal to false, then it should go to the pricing plan. If logged in user paid subscriber is equal to true, then it should go to the current cost details. So let's go back. Let's see our login users. Let's see our logged in users. Click on this. Paid subscriber, click on it. Let's go there. Okay, subscribe, let's say yes. Let's say subscribe, it's true. That's true right here. So let's go to the other user. Let's just say subscribe is false. So let's go write our algorithm again. Let's go back again. We'll say click on this again. Scroll down. Pricing plan. Sometimes if, no, not paid subscriber, forgive me. If user subscribed is true, if the user subscribed is false, then it should go here. Then for the link click, if the user subscribe, not paid subscriber, the user subscribe is true, then it should come here. So let's go ahead and preview. Preview to see what happened. I'm pretty sure we're spending about 1 hour here. So let's go. You can see this guy is going to the course detail. If you click on it again, it's going to the course unit. This is the unit introduction to marketing, and a number of minutes, it's 10. So it's going here because this person is true. So let's go ahead and exit. Let's go ahead and log out this person. Let's just log out this person and say, put the password and say login. So now we are logged in and we can click on it. It's going to take us to the pay stack, See, it's taking us here. Why? Because this person is not subscribed. If we click on it again, it's taking us right here because this person is not subscribed. So if we click on this, it takes us to the app, to the Stripe, payment gateway. We can then input our card, month, year, and then we can subscribe. So that's basically a majority of the things you need if you're building a learning management system. The other things will be basically API, which I did not cover in this course. If you want to learn further about Adalo, about how to build so many things that are complex like this, click on the link below and you can always check out my Adalo beginners course. I'm coming up with the other one, where we get to learn dive deep into working with APIs, but the Adalo beginners course will definitely teach you a whole lot about building software dialogue. So we spent about 1 hour here. Next week, probably we're going to continue with this or with something else. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Don't forget to leave your comment and ask your questions, and I'll be glad to answer you. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it.